5 beast mode winter fragrances that you need in your collection. So since everyone cares about attention on their fragrances, they all want a fragrance that lasts over 20 hours on your skin. Well, let me give you a couple options that will last that long on your skin. The first one we have is Flamenco Extrait by Ramon Monegal. This is literally probably the longest lasting fragrance I have in my collection with incredible projection. This is so incredibly strong. This fragrance has notes of raspberry, oud, leather. It's also a bit metallic in some kind of way. Now, I'm not really a huge fan of metallic fragrances most of the times. Now, I have to say that it's kind of toned down in this fragrance. It's more of a metallic note in the base. However, it's not mentioned in the notes. Now, keep in mind that this is very fruity and very heavy on oud. While it's not really an animalic or sour oud, so it's kind of safe to wear at the same time too. Is this mass appealing? I would say no. I think that if you can pull this off with a certain outfit, you'll definitely attract some compliments with it. But be careful, this is nuclear. I do get similarities somehow with Inexcusable Evil by Toscafot. I don't know why. Maybe it's the metallic accord that's used in there. And I kind of have a traumatic experience from when I tried that specific fragrance. It was a disaster. So every time I smell metallic notes, it puts me off. And that is basically the case with this as well. However, I love to smell this. I love to wear this. It is not similar in any kind of way to Inexcusable Evil, because Inexcusable Evil is a very sad, dark, bloody type of fragrance. This is more focused on leather, oud, and raspberry. So if you care about attention, definitely grab this one. Now, the second one is one that you can probably expect. Is Oud Maracuja by Maison Crivelli. This is the strongest passion fruit fragrance I have ever tried in my life. This has notes of leather, oud, and passion fruit. So it's kind of similar to Flamenco Extrait if you look at the accords. While the notes are not really the same, because in the opening of Oud Maracuja you get a very strong passion fruit accord. While it settles down on your skin, the oud will come on top a little bit more, and it has a beautiful leather accord in the base. However, I wish that they took the leather out of this fragrance and kept it somewhere else, because that is what kind of ruins it for me. So in my opinion, this would have been a lot better if they kept the leather out of the base. But besides that, it's a beautiful fragrance, very beast mode. This is nuclear. This will not come off your clothes, believe me. Now, I would say Oud Maracuja is less mass appealing than the one I just showed previously, but it is still very interesting to try it. So if you like these dark oud leather fragrances with a slightly fruity touch in the opening, definitely consider getting Oud Maracuja, and it is popular for a reason. Many people in the fragrance community like it, and that is for a very good reason. Now let's switch up to Xerjoff fragrances, and I got Alexandria III right here, which is an even stronger version of the popular Alexandria II. Now Alexandria II is very powdery, rosy, has some oud in there. However, the oud in Alexandria II is not as prominent as it is in Alexandria III. While this one focuses a lot more on the sour animalic type of oud, with of course a beautiful combination of rose and powdery notes as well. People always say that this fragrance smells like baby wipes, and I kind of get what they say. Actually, a lot of people around me told me as well, hey, this smells like baby wipes, what are you wearing? Well, people, it was this one, Alexandria III by Xerjoff. You don't want to know how strong this is. As well, this is crazy nuclear. Be careful with overspraying this. Actually, don't overspray this. If you overspray this, you're a criminal. This fragrance will perform at its best when we look at the quality if you do less than 4 sprays. Does it smell like my grandma? Maybe a little bit, but I love to wear it myself. And actually the people around me love when I wear it too. And the bottle is way more beautiful than Alexandria II. So if you care about bottles, if you're a sucker of beautiful bottle designs, then come on, this is a beautiful one to have in your collection, right? Now let's go to the fourth one. And this is a little bit more artistic than the other ones. We'll go with Tierra by Pernoire. Now Tierra, if you know this fragrance, if you have read reviews on it already, a lot of people say that it smells a little bit like Red Bull. Personally, I do not really get the Red Bull reference, but I kind of see where they're going. Now this fragrance is very heavy on red berries. It is sour in the opening, it has a beautiful base of oud as well. Isn't it pretty surprising that all of the fragrances that I just mentioned contain oud? Now of course we know it already, oud is a very prominent note most of the times, which lasts very long. However, I would not say that this is the longest lasting fragrance in my collection, because that is Flamenco Extrait by Ramon already. And actually this doesn't even belong in the top 10 probably. The reason I'm mentioning this is because of the projection. There is no other fragrance that will project like this one does. This is so incredibly strong. The central of this will spread meters away from you. It is a pretty flat scent, so it doesn't evolve that much on the skin. Like I said, in the opening it is very sour because of the red fruits and dries down beautifully with a smooth oud accord. It's not really an animalic or sour oud because they use an accord instead of real oud. It's just very sparkly, very fizzy in some kind of way. Definitely one of the most interesting fragrances to check out by this beautiful Swiss perfume house. However, this is not for everyone, so make sure to try it before you buy it. Now, before we move on to the next one, I would appreciate it so much if you can drop a like and subscribe to my content. That would mean the world to me. Now, an honorable mention before we go to the number one spot is of course Triumph of Bacchus by Argos. Now, this is certainly not the longest lasting fragrance in my collection, but this will grab some attention because the scent will spread meters away from you. This has notes of rum, peach, apple, tobacco, very seductive, very boozy, and very interesting to have in your collection. This cannot miss in anyone's winter collection. Now let's go to the number one spot, and this bottle will shock you because this is definitely the most unique bottle I have in my collection. Opus 1144 by Filippo Sorcinelli. Now look at this bottle, guys. This is so incredibly heavy because the cap is a real stone. It's concrete, it's stone, I don't know. That is kind of the feeling that I get when I smell this fragrance as well. It's a very weird scent. I cannot really describe how it smells. However, I do get some vanilla in the base. It has some sweetness to it. But if you look at the bottle, you might think that this is some ultra niche artistic scent that nobody will like. That is not true, first of all. This is actually very mass appealing, but also very unique at the same time. It has notes of cashmere, which is definitely prominent after a couple hours, while in the opening it's a little bit sour. It has a very sour opening with some bergamot, has a bitterness to it, while after a couple hours the cashmere will come through a little bit more, which dries down beautifully to a base of vanilla. So sour opening, smooth dry down, and a beautiful sweet base. This is incredibly long lasting as well. This just doesn't come off your clothes and skin, believe me. And honestly, it's an eye catcher. If you have this in your collection and people are gonna come over to look at your collection or something, everyone will grab this one first. Oh, what's that? Is that a stone? Stuff like that. You will grab attention with not only the fragrance, but with the bottle as well. Now, Filippo Sorcinelli is a master perfumer. I really like what he's doing with his fragrances. The fragrances have such a beautiful story behind the smell, and that is something that I absolutely love about fragrances. So I would say from this list, this might be the most mass appealing one. And believe me, it is actually true. It does have a smoky tone to it as well. I wouldn't say I smell like a really strong incense accord. It is playful but very mysterious at the same time. Alright, that was it for today, guys. If you enjoyed my video, make sure to drop a like. Comment down below what is the longest lasting fragrance you have in your collection. If you like my content, make sure to drop a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.